My son John and I started a new tradition a few months ago that when he stays home sick from school and is feeling up to it, we record a podcast together about something he has interest in. With National Pokémon Day on the horizon, we decided to talk about the Japanese mixed media export, Pokemon, of which John is a self-taught expert. Back here, this is the second time this season that I get to talk to my favorite Pokemon collector, my favorite dinosaur expert, my favorite Star Wars aficionado, all the great things. This is John. Say hi, John.
Hi.
And coming up later this month is National Pokémon Day. Did you know about this before I told you that February 27th is National Pokémon Day?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is National Pokémon Day all about, do you think?
It's all about the celebration of Pokemon get invented and all the kids really excited about this. These little awesome creatures with brilliant powers, and you can get any types Blastoise, Venusaur, Pikachu, Charizard.
The list goes on, doesn't it? How many Pokemon are there?
In the 90s, there was 150. Now there's over 400.
I'm actually surprised it's not more than 400. It sounds like it would be something that'd be like thousands of Pokemon, but it's not that many.
Yeah, because they don't want to make too much, because then kids might spend too much money on these cards.
Well,
but some are worth a lot of money, so.
I was gonna ask. We're gonna talk a little bit about that because there's lots of different cards, but for the same characters, right?
Yeah, I mean, sort of. Steelix is from Rock in the Windstone series. There's Rock, Ash, all those basic Pokemon. In the 90s, actually, Steelix wasn't a Pokemon. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Onyx was.
Okay, so
they didn't have Megas.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna have to walk me through this a little bit, but as far as I understand, the original Pokemon, the ones that came out in 1996, and they came out as a video game first, right, on the Game Boy.
It went comic book, video game, then cards.
Okay. So it started out. So the cards. Would you say the cards? So you have a number of friends your age. Would you say that the cards are probably the most popular of all the Pokemon things out there?
Yes.
And why do you think that is? Is it just because kids and adults too, they like to collect them?
No, because they're really popular. You can find them at Walmart, Dollar Tree, basically anywhere. So people see them a lot, then they get really interested in them, and they want to buy them.
Okay, well, I used to collect baseball cards, you know that.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes as really nice gifts for Father's Day or my birthday or Christmas, you've got me some baseball and football cards and stuff like that. And the reason that I liked collecting them when I was your age is similar to why I think you like Pokemon so much, and that's because one player might actually have a number of different cards made out of that one player, and they're different every time that they come out. Even in 1 year, you would have different companies making the one card. So I can see in your collection, for example, that you have a couple Pikachus, right?
Yeah, I got a whole bunch.
And so they keep making them, but they look different each time.
Yeah, and sometimes they're different types. The rarest Charmander is actually a lightning type, but it's supposed to be fire. And the rarest Pikachu is a steel type. It's actually supposed to be lightning.
Oh, cool.
And I think the rarest Charizard is water or glass type, but it's supposed to be fire.
Okay. So we're not going to go through all the questions that I usually ask. I just have one big question. I think you can definitely help me answer this one. Is how are these cards made? So what is the the most important feature of the card? Is it the hit points that they have, or the energy?
Are you thinking about the HP hit points?
Yeah, what is that even what?
Yeah, that means health points.
Oh, okay. See, that's what I already don't even know. What is the most important part of each card? Like when you
Probably
look at cards, what are you looking for?
Attack, and if it has a specialty, like V's, V stars, V maxes, EXs, like, that kind of matters. That's why the normal cards are so weak, but one of my normal cards says 340 damage.
Why do you think, so where do you think they come up with those numbers? Like if you're working at the Pokemon factory, which is, I'm assuming, because Pokemon is, it's just some giant brick building with big, smokestacks coming out of it, and they just churn out Pokemon all day long. That's probably what it looks like, right?
Actually, they have these giant printers. They print, like, every day they come up with a new Pokemon, basically.
So who does that? Who gets to make up the Pokemon?
I don't know that answer, but I believe it's somebody. Do you mean the artist or the?
Yeah, that's where I'm getting at. And I want to talk about the numbers on there too, because I think that's pretty important, especially.
Yeah, I'll tell you that after the artist.
Okay, so one of the guys that you like to watch on YouTube, his name is Nate, right?
Breaking Nate.
Yes, and he collects Pokemon, and he's an expert on them. And sometimes when I watch his videos with you, I hear him say when he's opening packs, he said, "Oh, this is whatever character."
His favorite artist is called Kamo Zeus.
Yeah, so he has favorite artists, and he can spot the artists. And I've noticed that the Pokemon, although they have the same general look to them, one drawing to the next is a little bit different. So it sounds like they're artists.
The artist is at the left bottom corner, right next to the right next to the rules about the cards.
Can I hold this up to the microphone? No, they can't hear anything. So this one is an Espeon
VMAX.
VMAX.
And its attack is Mindstorm.
But you'll find the artist name on...
Need help?
Yeah, you said it's towards the bottom?
Hold on, let me see it.
I might have to pause this part.
Right there. At the bottom might be...
Oh yeah, I see it now. Alright. Well, this is illustrated by 5 S-band graph. Anyway, so each one of these is probably hand-drawn by somebody.
Actually, they print it. They draw. There's a special printer. They draw it on paper. There's a special camera on the printer. They put it under the camera and it prints it onto cards.
Okay. So there is some craftsmanship, like somebody knows what they're doing with drawing the characters involved.
Yeah.
But then there's also some big manufacturing, meaning they can produce lots of these at one time. So that's
yeah, sort of. So you want to learn about the numbers?
Yeah, well, I want to know, where do those come from? Because they seem to me just kind of random. Like I could just make a character and say this one is 60, or where do the numbers come from?
Well, before they make the numbers, before they put it under the camera and make them cards, they have to look, like, what do they look like? Like, what looks like they can do? Like, can they do fire breathing, hyper beam? Like, what can they do? Can they do scratch? Like, and they see very closely what kind of weapons they have. Like Steelix has giant spikes. Mewtwo has sidekick powers to lift things up. Shaman has Star Bloom. Charizard has Fire Breath. G-Max Wildfire, I think. Espeon VMAX has Mindstorm. Hey,
So
like,
when you see these cards, you were saying before, you pay more attention to the numbers first,
and then look at the artwork,
then the artwork second.
and then see how cool the Pokemon are.
Okay, so that tells me a lot of stuff.
And the specialty, like the V Max, V Star, like see what how good it
So
is.
and Pokemon has now been around for close to 30 years.
Yeah.
And that's almost a whole generation. Why do you think that kids and older kids and adults, why do they like these cards so much? Why do you like them? Especially with the power that they have and the different moves that they can do and the weapons and stuff.
I think I kind of like how they look. Like Steelix looks like super cool. Like he's like this giant wormhole with spikes, and like Mewtwo is actually a hybrid sort of. Like then Dominus Rex from Jurassic World, that's a hybrid. Same with Mewtwo. They took DNA from Mew and a couple other Pokemon to make Mewtwo.
Wow. So they have like real stories behind a lot of these characters.
Yeah.
And it's all represented in card form, which does this give you the opportunity to almost like make yourself part of the story?
Not really, actually. I mean, sometimes every time I get a new card, I pretend I was like in the Pokemon world and caught a new car, like a new Pokemon. Like,
well, don't even get us started on Pokemon Go, right? Because that is having Pokemon all around you, and
it can actually be very, very disappointing. Actually,
what was your greatest disappointment with Pokemon Go?
Every battle you do, it's not fair because they give you like you have to go against Mewtwo, Blastoise, Arceus, Steelix, and it's just not fair.
Well, I think that what I'm getting at from all this is that, and I'll go back to when I was a kid, and I know that the reason why stories like Star Wars appealed to me so much is that, you know, Luke Skywalker, he's not a big muscular guy. He doesn't have, you know, like a lot of
muscles and stuff.
Yeah, or like he doesn't do, but then he learns that he has this power, this force that he can work with, and it can help him. It can make him, fight Darth Vader really well, and then
Stormtroopers.
Yeah, and everybody else. He can stand up for good things with the force, and then not long after that, there was a toys that we played with called He-Man, and He-Man was just the same way. That he did have giant muscles even when he wasn't He-Man, but he would walk around as normal Prince Adam, and then he had a special sword. He would hold it up and say, "I have the power," right? And they would give him all these powers, and he was super powered. And, we've always had the story of Superman, or his normal guy. You get the idea. So kids really enjoy. Especially kids seem to really enjoy this idea of all it takes is, in this case, collecting cards, and suddenly you have superpowers and really cool moves, and you can think about yourself as being able to fight against other big creatures, because on the show Pokemon, the trainers are kids, right?
Some are grown-ups, like Leon in Pokemon Adventures, I believe. Leon actually makes fun with Ash, and Ash is like only like 10 years old, and Leon is like 25 or something.
Well, and Team Rocket are older, right? That's their bad guys?
Yeah, they kind of match up with Dinosaur King.
Yeah,
sort of.
The Dinosaur King has a lot of similar
the bad guys.
Stuff to it,
I think it's a ripoff of Pokemon.
Pretty big one. Unless we found out it was the other way around. Maybe Dinosaur King came out first.
No, I'm pretty sure Pokemon.
I think you're right too. But there's similar characters where
there's three basically in Dinosaur King there's three bad guys, three good guys. Exactly in Pokemon, three bad guys, three good guys.
I see. So I like that idea of so Ash when he fights with his Pokemon, when he goes into the arena.
Can we pause it?
Yeah.
There's a train coming.
Okay. So Ash and his Pokemon friends, Pikachu, and who else does Ash have? He has a lot, right?
Charizard, he originally starts as Charmander, but they actually don't they don't let you see this, and Mewtwo strikes back. Charmander just turns into Charizard. It still has one more evolves and it goes Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard.
Yeah, and he's getting bigger and bigger, huh?
Yeah. And then Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y.
So Ash has all these. Mm-hmm. And he can fight against adults that have Pokemon, right?
Electric Buzz,
I love the names of them, by the way. There's so many fun ones. I always like Hitmonchan. I thought that was cool. So he fights again. And isn't that kind of what, even if it's not fighting necessarily, kids always like to imagine themselves as being good at something just the same way an adult is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it can be frustrating as a kid when, being a kid just by nature makes you not as good as adults or something, or even just older kids. But Pokemon makes for a level playing field, doesn't it? Like, if you went into a Pokemon, first of all, you'd have to know how to play the game. We don't know how to play the game very well, do we?
Yeah.
Super complicated, the card game is. But if we were to go into a Pokemon card tournament, which I know that they have them frequently near us, you could go up against somebody 5 years older than you, or 10 years older than you, and
so 18.
Yeah, you would have just as good of a chance of winning as they did, right?
Yeah.
Because you have these cards.
V Max, V Star, V GX, EX, Radiant.
And I think that was part of the reason why I like. We didn't battle our baseball cards against each other.
Yeah.
But when we opened up a pack of cards, we had it not even on the back of our minds, pretty close to the front of our minds, that this package might contain our ticket to financial happiness, because we would find some card that's worth a lot of money and turn around and sell it and then be rich. You don't see it the same way.
I mean, we do have a card that's worth $100.
Yeah, supposedly. That's what we. Of course, they're not worth anything unless somebody gives you that money for it.
Yeah.
But supposedly we have this. We looked it up, and one of them was worth quite a bit more than we thought anyway. And the rest of them aren't worth anything.
Yeah. I mean, to put this VMAX $8.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, it's alright. I like that you collect them because I think they're really cool artwork. I like that you get so excited about them, and it reminds me, like I said, of what I used to do. But I think that the big difference between Pokemon and baseball cards, aside from the fact
baseball
that
is actually real,
right?
And Pokemon is some Japanese guy just came up with these weird creatures.
I remember hearing Mark Hamill, who's the guy who played Luke Skywalker. He said one time that he was surprised the very first time he saw himself on a bubblegum card, because they made cards of Star Wars right after the movie came out. And he said, I always thought you had to have athletic ability to be on a bubblegum card. And it's the same kind of thing here. Like, it's beyond just people that can hit the ball really well or pitch the ball really well or do other sports really well. It's imagination is on these cards, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, my friend at school, he's very into hockey, and so I always thought, let's tape those cards to an air hockey table and just make them sing, but he says, well, that's not a good idea because they're going to get damaged. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, but, that would actually be kind of fun.
Well, there's another detail, though, about Pokemon cards that I didn't even notice until pretty recently, that they have rounded edges, don't they?
Yeah, some cards have really sharp edges.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, some.
So I feel like a lot of them are rounded just because they're meant to be
safe,
used a lot. Like you're meant to be taking them out and using them in the game. whereas baseball cards always had sharp edges. And if you had a baseball card with round edges, it was obviously old and not worth as much because it wasn't in good shape. But it seems that I think we did a pretty good job of determining how it's made, what that tells us about, because obviously there's a lot of kids worldwide that love Pokemon. Where can you get Pokemon cards?
Jetpack, Dollar Tree, Goodwill, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, at the bottom of the bay. What about when we went on our trip this last summer? Where could you buy them?
Amsterdam?
Yeah. Did you see any in Ireland? They have Pokemon.
I think I saw one.
They just got leprechauns there, but...
Leprechaun cards?
They might have a leprechaun Pokemon. I don't know. Leprechaun.
I mean, there is a leprechaun Pokemon set. It's like Pikachu dressed in a leprechaun costume.
And that's how much fun that they have with these characters.
Like there's a Halloween set of Pikachu dressed as a skeleton, and I always thought that was kind of fun.
I like the Pokemon cards that are crocheted.
Huh?
They look like a sweater, but they're actually Pokemon. Like some of them look like they're made out of yarn.
What? Oh yeah. I think I have a couple cards.
Yeah, you do, and I like those because it's so clever, and that's why I appreciate Pokemon. Not for the, I don't know anything about the powers or the evolutions and stuff. I like the artwork on it more than anything and the names that they give them.
At my friend's in 3rd grade, actually, he has a Mega Steelix EX. I really want. He said, and he's so kind. He said, "How this? You can give me a normal EX, not a Mega EX, for this card."
Oh.
And I was like, "Thank you," because I don't have any Megas.
Oh, I see. So you help each other build up your collection.
Yes.
All the time. We saw that and I guess that's another really cool thing about the Pokemon universe and the Pokemon communities. Like we watched in videos where, you can buy them and you can sell them for money, but it seems like a lot of collectors and the game players and stuff like to trade them, and you help each other build your collections because there's different lines, aren't there? Like there's the gold ones. What are some of the other
gold ones? They're actually thinking about making silver ones for some reason, but there's actually metal Pokemon cards.
Metal?
Yeah, like steel.
Oh, wow. And then there's like the V ones and the V-Star.
V Max, V Stars, EXs, GXs, Mega EXs, V Unions, a couple others, I believe.
So it's quite the
Rainbow
world.
Layers.
Yeah, they have quite the world all laid out for us when it comes to Pokemon and
tag teams.
They have tag teams. Wow, they have it all.
Tag costumes.
And that's probably because kids all over the world love them, right?
Yeah.
And for that reason that we just talked about before. So, John, thanks again for doing this. I know you like doing your podcasting when you're home from school sometimes, right? All right. Thanks again.
Welcome.
The success and popularity of the cards is based on the dynamic artwork that's specific to each individual card, as well as the way collections empower the collectors, who come from all ages and backgrounds. Both of these features are very telling about both media creation and youth culture of the last 27 years. I hope you enjoy your National Pokémon Day and stay tuned to the EPS podcast, where everything, including Pokemon, is a primary source. We'll talk to you next time.